Hey everyone, welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode is Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Becky.
And she'll be here back in a second, but Leah's here somewhere. But we are super excited to welcome author Kathryn Moon. Kathryn, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
We are so excited to have you here. You probably are going to be like, what? It's so funny because on this episode, we're going to talk about Omegaverse. We are going to talk about the niche, the most fantastic corners of romance, speculative fiction, the Omegaverse. Whether you're already deep into its tropes or just Omegaverse curious, this is the episode for you. So one of the things is like, we want to understand. I've read some. I am not well versed in it. And I'm sure that every author has kind of their own little, make up their own lore, just kind of like with paranormal and sci-fi and stuff. But I want to understand the basis of it. But also, like, if you Google Omegaverse romance books, you come up. Like, I think you're the queen of Omegaverse.
Yep.
No.
You're like, no. I'm like, I think you are. But before we get into what's Omegaverse and all that, let's talk a little bit about who you are as author.
Okay.
So Kathryn, how long have you been writing romance?
I've been writing romance probably in high school. I've been publishing for just over 7 years.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the first romance book you ever read?
Okay, so I read a lot of fantasy that had a romance storylines. I
Sure.
think some of the ones that are maybe more strictly romance that I can recall are there was the Robin McKinley has like several Beauty and the Beast like retellings. She did one where the beast remained a beast. She did one where he didn't. She had like a really great vampire story called Sunshine. So those are the ones I think that struck out as like more romance than like more romance story movement
Yeah.
than just like a fantasy structure. Yeah.
So you kind of said you were writing since high school. So you've always been like a storyteller, a writer? Because
Yeah.
that's one of the things.
My
Go ahead.
my mom had to like take dictation when I was little.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, like, and I've read your Orc book, I read your Mothman book. One of the things I noticed is you like have, it's a true storytelling. It's not just like romance beats, it's the beats of a story, and a building of the world. So I'm like, almost like a true storyteller.
Thank you. I think a lot of romance authors are true storytellers. I have been reading a lot of historical romance, and they have like those really recognizable beats.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize until I was reading so much of them that I like for a long time, like a lot of the time I write with like hero's journey beats, like fantasy beats. And I think that's because like that was more where I learned my like writing that I wanted to be doing and the storytelling that I wanted to be doing. And now I'm like, ooh, I want to find a way to meld those two kind like that those two forms of story structure
Yeah.
more.
Well, I have loved everything I have read by you. But I am a novice when it comes to Omegaverse. I think Leah's read quite a few.
Well, I think I have, but I can't say for sure that I have. It's one of those things, which is one of the reasons we wanted to have you on, is what defines the Omegaverse and like how are we yes it is or yes it isn't type of
What are
thing.
the rules?
Okay.
Or are there rules or is it
Yeah.
like kind of subjective, like a lot of other like romance?
Okay.
So real quick, Omegaverse is a speculative erotic fiction subgenre that has a societal hierarchy or second genders, alpha, betas, and omegas, with distinct biological and social roles, often incorporating elements of animal shifting or werewolf fictions, but they don't, right? It's elements, but nobody shifts.
It's totally depends on the book and the story and the author. whether or
Okay.
not they do.
See, subjective.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get so many answers, you guys.
Yeah. And also, like, there are so many authors who would then come and disagree with me. Like,
Hmm.
so you're getting the perspective from somebody that's probably a lot more lenient about what Omegaverse is.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, rules, we really don't believe in them.
Yeah.
They're just kind of ideas, but we don't ever follow even our own rules. Um, so, and I had a conversation with my husband Mike in the car, and he's like, "So it's science fiction, it's paranormal. For what you write, I would say it probably falls a little more towards science fiction."
Yeah. Um, okay, are you ready for me to like drop a little one of my bombs on this?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
please.
I don't think Omegaverse is a genre.
Okay.
I
Ooh.
Okay.
I think Omegaverse is a trope and it is a speculative fiction trope, but then how it's used is like within other genres.
Okay.
Um, so so I think that like yes, it like I have written it in like a contemporary style world. It can't be like a contemporary book because like there would never be alphas and omegas and betas. But yeah, I think it's like a trope that gets applied, which is why like the things that people want from it are always so different, or the things that they fall in love about it can be so different amongst like all the different books.
Okay.
That makes sense because I'm not ever really, I'll see like a hierarchical structure like that in a paranormal, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that's Omegaverse or not. Like, I'm
Right.
not sure. So,
Well, but also my thing is I've read some Omegaverse books, but they're like singular couples. It's not like a why
yeah.
choose. So like
Yeah.
some people say Omegaverse has to have multiple partners. What I think that's a crock of crap, but that's
And
just me. Because
here,
there are some that I've read that would be considered Omegaverse from the author, but it's like a guy and a girl or
yeah.
male or female, like but
And like you're right, period. And that is kind of a hard role because Omegaverse really built itself up in fan fiction in queer like couples.
hmm
Like, and especially in the world, this is like why I am not the queen of Omegaverse. Like, Omegaverse was being published for a really long time, mostly MM couples, like mostly gay men. Um, it featured a lot of like male pregnancy.
hmm
So it was like really an interesting queer and even a little bit like possibly trans
Okay.
like romantic pairing, like world building. So yeah, so it's absolutely not like only a why choose situation.
That is so interesting because so do you think cuz I was chatting with an author that I work with plotting and she was like how crazy do you think people would get if I did an omega like a cozy omegaverse and there was maybe an FF couple, you know, like one of the betas was an FF. I think that's correct, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, I think that would be okay. And she's like, do you think people will come for me? And I'm like, I would hope not.
Yeah, the current popularization of Omegaverse is really like it's people that are only reading what is like currently being written. And
hmm
Yeah.
so it's becoming a little bit harmful, some of the like discourse about it, because there's
Um,
like all of this information that they don't have, they did never knew about, and like they're all just feeding the same like weird stories about it being like like only poly why choose, like it's a
hmm
RH or Y like thing and it's not. And so yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean I say it can go anywhere. I have like an MF Omegaverse too, so.
hmm
Yeah.
Because I've read in Lexi Foss's world, and she has
Mhm.
the Andorra sectors and things like that, and it is in the Omegaverse like
Yeah.
world, but she has a lot of different pairings and groupings, and
Mhm.
like actually one of my favorites, it's a male female, and
Mhm.
she is she's a found Omega. I cannot think of the title off the top of my head, but it. there's a whole series that is just male female, but then she
Yeah.
has other ones where there are like it's usually why I choose with singular females, multiple males, but has a little mix of everything in there.
Yeah, and I think like the Why Choose is like a subgenre, and like that's so like so she's writing Omegaverse inside of that subgenre,
Right.
which has more to do with like how the pairings are being arranged and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And like so yeah, the any author in any genre can take that trope of like this sort of balancing act of designations that like complement each other, which is like
Mm-hmm.
I think Omegaverse boils down to um, and apply it to all their subgenres, all the tropes they like.
Yeah,
Which
and see, now it works in my brain.
and now
Like her calling it a trope, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
Well,
I
yeah,
get it.
because like if you call it a genre, then you have like all of these things that have
Yeah,
nothing in common, really,
right.
unless you're only looking at that one little area of it. And then like, yeah, and even before it became like Baby and the Late Night Howlers came out and it became really popular in Why Choose like circles. There was a number of authors like Addison Kane and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that had MF, like really popular MF Omegaverse, and before them was like the published MM Omegaverses, and so
so
it's
what
been
would
around.
so what would you say is the bare basics in order for it to be the Omegaverse trope? What, so like we know with rivals to lovers, they have to be competing over something. Friends to lovers, they have to be friends, and they
Yeah.
become a. So what would be the bare basics to say, okay, this is a Megaverse trope?
The bare basics are it's a world building element where you have societal and biological like designations. I'm trying to like decide where I want to stop on what I think the bare bones are, because I'm like somebody else could be like, no, I don't want to do that, and I'd be like, good for you.
Which I
I
love that
think
about you.
most often have to do with like breeding, like the alpha and
Mm-hmm.
omega. It has to do with like complementary breeding. Usually, like 90% of the time. If somebody said I'm gonna do like an asexual Omegaverse, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's see it. Like
I would be for it. I think that would be
That would be
amazing.
a really interesting take on it.
yeah. So
And see, what I'm sitting here thinking is basically Omegaverse is a trope that we should be seeing in all all mashups, right?
oh,
FF,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
MM, MF, like all of them. Let's shake it up.
Yeah. I think it's like, yeah, it's just really important to know that it like it's not something new and it's not like one thing.
Yeah.
And the bare
Mm-hmm.
bones of it are really small. And like and then a lot of people take it back. So we think that it originated with like a supernatural fan fiction request that was like, I want to see these two guys fucking something to
yeah,
do with wolves. Like,
Yeah.
um, but it might not even have been that. I think there's like, there might be a reference where like there's something really similar in Star Trek as
yes.
well. So, yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
could
on
see
the
that.
I forget which episode, but they named the episode on Wikipedia. I was
Yeah.
reading it earlier to try to make it work, to try to understand what the definition was, but it makes so much more sense to me. It's like using it as a trope. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that just answer it? Like,
it
Amanda,
I
you're
mean,
done now?
it literally like turned a key in my
It
brain. I'm
clicks.
not even
All of it
joking.
clicks now.
So
That's
I will admit too, I was calling it a genre because everyone was calling it a genre, and then
yeah.
another author, Flora Quincy, was like, it's a trope, and I was like, oh yeah, of
right?
course it's a
Yeah.
trope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It actually makes more sense as a trope
It
yeah,
really does. Yeah.
because, tropes, we can use a lot of generalities in it, but within a genre, you have certain expectations, right?
mm,
Mafia, we expect it to have, mafia. Suspense, we expect a suspense, a mystery, a story element of something, danger. In a rom-com, we expect humor. But when you say, okay, no, the Omegaverse is a trope, that explains more of like the character mashup, the dynamics you can expect.
Well, and it gives that separation between like a shifter romance and an Omegaverse story, because not all shifter stories are in the Omegaverse world.
Right.
But some are, and so, and
Yeah.
then also in science fiction, so it can be used in a variety of genres and subgenres.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's fascinating to me.
This makes so much like it just makes so much sense.
We're all like,
I'm
oh,
glad,
we
I'm so
thought
glad
this.
you're like,
It's like
no,
I know.
pause, like we can't go here.
No,
We've had this conversation so many times, and we're all like, what does it mean?
we don't
Yeah.
know. And actually, I really thought like this was going to be, I told you like your TED talk. And now I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about other things now because we
Yeah.
understand it.
Problem solved.
TED Talk over.
TED talk over. Let's just talk books. I do have one other question. The idea of nesting,
Mhm.
like, that feels weird.
Oh, okay.
I don't like y'all
Maybe
have to
they're not
you have to go
um,
back
yeah.
there to that one space.
It's like a comfort thing though. Like it's the
Yeah.
smells. Like they're creating this space that like makes them safe. Like because it's essentially their bed, but it's
Yeah.
called a
Right.
nest.
Right. But you only have sex in that one space.
No.
No,
No.
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 they
But
have sex all over the
if you
place.
were simultaneously outrageously horny and also feeling really vulnerable and also like a little bit sick, like you had a headache, like where would you want to have sex?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
you'd want
Well,
to have sex in like your cozy bed that's like got perfect lighting and the best pillows, like
Okay.
so the Lexi Foss book I was talking about, so she is found and she actually like she makes her nest, but like not he's not very nice and does some really dumb stuff. And she ends up destroying her nest
mm-hmm,
and it makes her really sick. Like
mm-hmm.
because like their connection has been like not severed, but it's fractured. And so
Yeah.
like when she destroys the nest, he realizes like just how much he fucked up because
That's
like the
great.
nest is that comfort and when like the comfort space is gone, like her body starts shutting down.
Yeah. I love that.
That's so
I
interesting.
I really that's why
Which
I
could
really
really
like that
have a lot
book.
of like chronic illness rep with it in
Yeah.
Yeah.
space. Is there a Megaverse story you would really like to write that you haven't written yet? Or are you moving? Because you're moving into monsters, which I am here for. I love a good monster. Um,
I have some like I had like a sci-fi-ish Omegaverse that was probably closer to like but it's like it's weird because then I feel like I managed to like sort of accidentally walk into doing something kind of new, which is like the Y2 sort of contemporary, pretty like positive sex
Mhm.
and relationships and stuff thing. And so now I feel like I'd be like walking into somebody else's territory, but I have like a slightly darker Omegaverse sci-fi idea. But I'm I am like a very contrary person. So
love
having
that.
somebody be like, "You're the queen of this," or "You're the queen of that," and I'm like, "No, I go do something else now." So
I'll never write it again because those girls said I
yeah,
was the queen of
Because they like
Omegaverse.
it.
yeah. I did like, and this was a little bit of a contrary thing where like everybody was talking about what Omegaverse was, and I was like, I felt like a lot of it was coming off of that sort of like really like simplify. I think like the universe I created and with the like sweet verse where it's just like a contemporary Omegaverse, like I felt like it was like a really basic sort of watered down version of like what other Omegaverses I'd seen. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do something completely different with it. So I have like a historical romance, dragon shifter, Omegaverse, where it's like one alpha, but all of the women are Omegas, all of the other men are betas. Like, and I just was like, I'm gonna, so that anybody who only knows like that one shape of Omegaverse comes in and is like, what the hell is this? Um,
I
So
actually
yeah.
downloaded book 1 of that today, so I'm reading it. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
You did kind of say like, haha, I'm going to show you people.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do something else, and I want to prove that it's like okay to like use this in a completely different way.
Yeah.
We appreciate the oppositional defiance around here.
I was
Yeah,
going to
we
say,
really do.
some people on this podcast have been diagnosed by other members on the podcast of having it. Leah.
There's no clinical diagnoses here, just self and other.
Yeah, I understand.
We'll say like, hey, we're going to do this. And someone will be like, but I don't want to do that. I'm doing this instead. Like,
Yeah.
Or some of us are like, I just cannot function when I'm told what to read
Uh-huh.
and have to just kind of do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Um, so what inspired you to go over to cryptids? Because like I said, you have a really great Mothman.
Thank you. So before that series, which is like the Monster Smash Agency series, I'd written monsters in a series called Tempting Monsters, and that was originally inspired and with another author, Penelope Wren and I came up with this world of like Victorian, inspired by Penny Dreadful, kind of that show on
Ooh, I like
HBO.
me some
Yeah.
Penny Dreadful.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I was like, okay, well now I want to write monsters like contemporary, cute, like sort of. Oh yeah, I love. I don't know why. I mean I do know why, but like I love romances that revolve around sexual relationships where like the emotions come out of that. So I have like the Monster Smash Agency is like sex work set in Chicago,
Yeah.
like
And your gargoyle book is absolutely, you can tell me I'm wrong, but it's inspired by the gargoyle cartoon of the 90s, isn't it?
no.
No?
Like, but because I don't,
Oh, you're
I
young.
know that
You're
I've
still young.
watched some of it, but we didn't have cable because I lived out in the country. Like
Did you have one of the
we
giant satellite dishes that you could climb on?
eventually, but at first we just had like until I was a
Antenna.
teenager, we had an antenna, and that was
We
it.
we
Like,
had one of the giant like dish satellite like
yeah,
things, and we used to sit in it because it would fit multiple people.
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah. I only saw like a couple episodes of Gargoyles at babysitters and stuff like
Okay.
that. So it wasn't inspired by that. I don't know. I don't know where that one came from. It was one of those things where like I wrote this like really, really, really like ultra, it was just like bang, 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 just having sex book
Yeah.
with games with the orc. And then I was like, let's talk about trauma in Hell for the Gargoyle. So, which I did that with like Baby and the Late Night Howlers into Lola and the Millionaires was like this total tonal shift.
Well, and I will say the orc, I think your orc was one of the very first orcs that I had read.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like led me down to look for more orcs because then I was like, these fuckers come a lot.
They do.
Like a lot.
Copious.
And I
Copious
asked Leah
amounts.
about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, is this normal? And she's like, yeah, totally normal. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Did you read Finley Fenn?
No,
Oh, that cover is really
not
nice.
yet.
We talked about it in our monsters episode, I'm pretty sure.
It like runs off the bed onto the floor.
Copious amounts.
Yeah, and I think like the dick is compared to like a young tree at one point. You
How
should
have we
read it.
not read that yet?
I don't know.
It was on the list, and I think it was like we did like the huge list, and I think we had some other like episode to do next, and we were all like on to like whatever the next like trope talk was, and
Got
we
distracted.
never went back to monsters.
Sounds like we need to go
Her
back
angst
to
is,
monsters.
like, it's so good. I love it. Like she really stabs you.
I love that. People, I get messages. I had 2 messages this week from people that were like, what's the book with the door again? I'm like,
Oh,
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, this
Well, part of that
unhinged.
is because Vera's like she's trending on
Trending.
TikTok
She's going
again
viral
with
again,
that.
which I
So
love. Um, so are there any other stories, monsters, anything that you would kind of like to dabble in that you haven't gotten to yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have I have like a photo album on my phone of like all the covers I've gotten.
Are you a
The
cover
majority of
buyer without books
yeah.
to put
But
in?
it's like a little bookmark in my brain of like this is that story. But there's like
hmm
several hundred of them. So there's a lot of stuff I want to write. Um, and I feel like I'm being pulled in a different direction now. I think I kind of want to go back to some of like not like fantasy without romance, but like some of the fantasy I grew up reading, like the Robin McKinley and
hmm
Sure.
Patricia McKillip, is this author, and her prose is like really ornate, and I want to write something that feels like that. I don't know how to do this, but like I want to go back to some of the fantasy that I loved and that feeling. What are you doing? Reckon. Um, and
She's a
and
cat, guys. She has a cat that's being naughty.
and something because I know like a lot of people are like, oh, like you write Omegaverse and monsters, and I'm like, I've written so many witches. Like I have this whole back catalog. I feel like I have more witches than I have like, and so I think I kind of want something witchy again. I think of
hmm
myself more in that kind of way than I do of like Omegaverse is like this whim that I chased, and monsters was like a whim I chased, and I love them both. Hi.
Yeah. Well, and witches are really popular right now.
They really
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Witches
Well,
are,
it's that time of year too.
Yeah.
So,
but
Also
not even
true.
that time of year, though. If we look at what's being bought by publishing, you know, for next year, next spring, next summer, and I, one of my jobs, because, you know, everybody has to have like 7 of them at this point. um, I work as an acquisitions uh, manager for a litter agency, and I've been meeting with publishers, and that's one of the things that's come up over the course of the last couple
Hmm.
meetings is like, we want more witches and feminists burn the world down
Well, I
or
wonder if
cozy. I'm
like
like,
with
those are two
practical
different.
magic too, like
yes.
all of
Yeah.
that, like they're trying to capitalize on that delightfulness.
I feel like there's also going to be like an indie rise of vampires.
hmm
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Um, because I know a lot of people working on vampire projects
Vampires.
right now.
I feel like like I have seen more people teasing things about vampires
Yeah.
lately too.
Which are like witches, vampires, werewolves are all
Oh
considered,
my.
yeah, are like evergreen like
yeah.
tropes,
Yep.
genres and
Yeah.
everything. Um, but I also like I think it's kind of nice to see some evergreens come back
hmm
up.
Yeah.
Because those are the things where like you can work on your blurb again, you could like recover it, you can like try and bring that to a new audience,
Yeah.
which as like an indie author is always really nice to
hmm
be able to take the back catalog of like staples and use them.
Did I see, and I could be wrong, did you sell like for a graphic novel for Lola and
Yeah,
the Millionaires, right? To a
yeah,
company in the UK?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tailscape uh bought the rights to a English language graphic novel, which I goofily I read it and I knew that it was English language, and then in my head I was like, no, it's going to like Korea or something. And so
Oh,
I
that's
was
going to
like,
be like,
so I went back to it and I was like, oh wait, everybody can read this. Yes. Um, so yeah, that I'm really excited. I haven't gotten like I had to do a really big package of reference. Um, so I haven't gotten anything back yet, but
yeah.
I saw just like a couple little samples and I'm very
That's
pumped.
so cool.
I saw
Yeah.
that and I'm so excited for that because
Yeah.
I was actually just having a conversation with somebody else recently that I think that the gamers, the comic book readers, they're that Venn diagram is not so far off with from romance readers. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, but
Like,
if you figure a lot of like comic books have a romance like background in them, like Spider-Man and Mary Jane, like
right. No, there's definitely, and I just am so excited for the idea of a graphic novel. for a romance book. I think that
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's so exciting. I don't know, but we're a little nerdy in this house, so tried to tell an author, I was like, I think that you should write a cozy romance around Stardew Valley. And she was like, do you think
I
people would
read a
read
book
that?
that referenced Stardew Valley.
Yeah, but this
Really?
would be more like in the world, a romance in the world of a Stardew Valley-esque space.
I had an idea that bounced like, and it wasn't as cozy as Stardew Valley. It was probably more like horror, fantasy, adventure, but I have
Yeah,
like a Stardew Valley brain bunny from how much I've played it.
you should do it.
I
Do
know.
it.
I
Do it.
have the cover for it.
She already has a
See?
cover.
She has a cover. Well,
Yeah.
My
because
youngest plays that a lot. She's a big fan.
Yeah.
She would not be able to read that book yet, though.
right,
No.
she's young.
She's
But
not quite old
Well,
enough.
because I think of like this Dungeon Crawler Carl. Have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet?
No,
mm-mm.
but
No.
you keep talking about
It's
it.
hilarious. Hilarious. There's Princess Donut the cat. She has a pet velociraptor, but they're sucked into this reality game video after the world's been blown up. And I'm sure I'm butchering it because I'm only half listening. My husband is like on book 4 now as he's been listening to it.
It's like Wreck-It Ralph vibes, but not.
Not, no, because it's true video game immersive. Like it,
Mm.
loot boxes and, it has all that. And I keep thinking, I want to read a romance that's that video game immersive. Because I'm not so much, I'm mobile game, I Animal Crossing, and I am fantastic at Mario Kart, even though I'm really not, but I believe that I am.
Till it hits the Rainbow Road, and then I can't handle it.
No, the children beat me. But I'm surrounded by gamers, and I just think that like my 20-year-old would love the idea of some kind of,
Oh, yeah, she'd be all over that.
I mean, I looked the other day, we downloaded Minecraft onto the iPad or the phone in like 2012, and they still play it to this day. They're 20 and 22. I don't get it, but they love it.
My husband plays it every once in a while,
I
and
mean,
he gets very
I
serious.
still play Animal Crossing, so,
I I can't. I can't.
I mean, Tom Bell is kind of like a mobster running his little island. I'm just saying. Anyway, Kathryn, back to you, so we don't have to go about video games. You're like, not
She's
really.
like, what did I get into?
I love cozy games. I understand.
It's so fun. Just, I don't know.
I'm playing Potion Permit right now.
Oh, I don't know what
Um,
that one is.
yeah, it's a lot of gathering herbs, making like potions. But I thought I was like, Potion Permit makes it sound like I'm being a little witch, and instead I'm like working for the medical association, which
Okay.
I'm not as excited about. But it is cute. Like you get to know all the villagers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
The other day my child was playing Slime Rancher, and you have to collect the slimes, and there's different kinds of slimes, and I'm just like, I don't understand this. They're little blobs that are colorful, but they have jobs and do certain things. Um, if you could, if you could write any story right now that like everybody would pick up and read, what do you have like? Do you have one?
sorry, I keep because I don't know what things are going to turn into sometimes, and
Oh no, that's
you
okay.
know, so I do kind of like if I have like story ideas, I kind of keep them close to
That's
the
okay. Keep
chest
it to your
until it's
vest.
like,
That's fine.
yeah, yeah. There's like something that I would really love to write, but I don't know when I will. I think it's like more of the thing where like I enjoyed reading something so much that I want to do it, but I
Sure.
probably won't because somebody already did it and I
Hmm.
really loved it. Um, Alice Coldbreath writes medieval romances, many of which are like set around knights, and it's like medieval in a fictional world, so it's not like strictly
Historical.
all romance. Um, but they're like knights going to jousting tournaments, and I did not know I was like into that. And it's so good. They're so great. It's a lot of like grumpy like
Yeah.
pairing.
I like grumpy grumpies.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Brides of Caradoc is this
Okay.
series. There's like an initial series, the Vaudry brothers, but the Brides of Caradoc, like the second one, The Unlovely Bride, is just, I've read it so many
I'm
times.
gonna have to check it out.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
love medieval. Like I read all of the Jude Devereux medievals like when I was younger than I should have been reading them. You know, I picked up my
Yeah.
first medieval romance at like 13, I think it was. But I love that concept of knights and jousting and,
Yeah.
you know, I also, watched a lot of Viking shows on TV and that kind of stuff. So,
I think there's something like very fall about it too, somehow.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that Ren Fair like vibe to it. And
Yeah.
like there's a lot of Ren Fairs happening like in the
Yeah.
fall and
Yeah.
late summer.
I
My
want to go to Ren Fair, but do you have to wear a costume? Because I don't
No.
know that I'm creative enough to wear the costume.
No, like
But I really
if
want
you're
a turkey leg.
no, you don't
People
have to
walking
dress
around.
up. Although like there's where I live, there's an area that it's called Pensick. It used to be a week or two, but now it's like a 3 week event where people from all over the world come to this one like campground and like live very like Ren Fair-esque, but they have battles and all this chaos.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, like we used to like to drive through it just to see like all the tents and the people. And there's like a creek, and that's where all the nudists hang out. So
Well, and I haven't been in 20 years, but I know that up in northern Michigan in the Highlands, every summer they have the Highland Games. Have you ever gone
mhm.
to it, Catherine?
Mm-mm, but I would love to.
Yeah, they have like the caber toss and the wife carry,
Oh, that's
and
fun. I didn't know that they did that like in Michigan too.
yeah, they do it up in it's in Boyne, up in the
Oh,
Highlands.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
so fun. Um, I went in high school, and it was like,
It
you know,
sounds like a lot of fun.
so I mean, just watching the guys like pitch the big giant wooden poles down. You're like, you're really gonna throw that? And they totally do. But people in northern Michigan are a different breed anyway, so
Yeah.
they're a little extra. Um, okay, so we'll just talk about what you're reading. Is there, do you have an author or a book you think is underrated that more people should be reading?
Yes.
Tell
Um,
us.
she's my best friend too.
Okay, we
But
we love supporting friends, so all for it.
yeah. Lana Cole, she also writes in the Sweetverse, the Omegaverse world. She's like, I knew when I was writing it that I wanted to share it with her because our sensibilities are really similar in terms of romance. Um, but they are currently working on, speaking of all of this, like a very like fantasy adventure sapphic romance to fight and to fold. And
Ooh.
so I've been like not alpha reading because I'm more just like squeeing in the comment section. But yeah, I've been following along and I'm really excited for that to come out. And then I've also been listening to a lot of like horror audiobooks.
Yeah.
So I just listened to, because it's easier to do while spinning,
Sure.
um, spinning yarn, not spinning in circles, but that
It's okay if
too.
you do that too.
Yeah. I listened to The Haunting of Hill House because
Oh, that was really. I watched the show.
yeah, it's totally different than the show.
Is it?
Yeah, but really, really good. There's like a lot of quotes in the book that they applied in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm like, oh, that doesn't really fit there, but it sounded really pretty in the show, but it like makes so much sense in the book.
Ah.
Yeah. But yeah, Shirley Jackson is like We Have Always Lived in the Castle is another one of her books, and that's one of my favorite books ever.
Yeah.
And then I'm listening to One Yellow Eye, which is like dystopian London There's been a zombie outbreak, and this woman is trying to get onto the team that's looking for the cure because she secretly has her husband who was bitten and is a zombie, like in her house, in her
Oh,
apartment, and is like keeping him sedated. And so it's really good. Um, and then I'm listening to Zom Romcom by Olivia Dade too.
So
yes.
good.
Yeah, really
We're
fun.
we were supposed to do that last Wednesday as our we do an episode every Wednesday where we talk and review a book like book club style. But life lifed a little too hard for everyone.
For everyone.
So we're doing the first week of November, but I enjoyed that book and I've been talking about it since I read it back in August.
Yeah,
But I like Olivia Dade, so you know.
yeah,
Mm.
she's great.
So okay, so you're reading just genre horror fiction. What do you think of the romance kind of dabbling into genre romantic horror? Does that intrigue
I
you? Are you loving
Yeah,
it?
I love it. I think there's something like I feel like so during depressions a lot of the time musicals become really popular, but
Right.
so does
Hmm.
like noir. And I
Yeah.
think like this horror romance is kind of part of that right now, like where it's good to feel dread in a safe way, in like a fictional way, and then like having that in romance as well is it's like another little flavor of dark romance, which
Yeah.
like gets all your brain firing in a fun way.
I think it's fascinating to watch. I like seeing romance branching out into these other fiction
Mm-hmm.
genres. You know, the idea, I love romantic suspense.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of like a romantic thriller, I think could be really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see as people kind of expand things and make it their own.
Hmm.
I think Hosier, the musician, like
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
writes kind of like horror romance songs, and we've all been talking
Yes.
about like that. And so I feel like it's kind of like another one of those things where it's like maybe something kind of horrifying, but like it's done beautifully,
Beautiful.
or it's something beautiful out of it, which I think that's fun.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so what is
Oh,
next?
wait, before
Oh,
so this is my little Krobus mug.
oh, that's so
That's
cute.
so cute.
Yeah, for the Stardew. Anyways.
For the Stardew. For the Stardew fans. It's her
Mhm.
gross. Um, so what is next for you, Kathryn Moon? Like next release?
So I'm working on the Alpha of Grave Hills, which is part of that like historical dragon shifter Omegaverse.
Which is the Bell Island.
Bleak Island,
Leak
the Bleak
Island,
Island, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so that was the first book. It's like standalones in a series, which I really love. Um, I just it's like a neater format for me to
Hmm.
work on one story and have like a finishing point for it. Than to try and do these like epic fantasy or anything like romance over multiple books thing.
We
Um,
appreciate a
yeah,
standalone series.
We're
yeah,
chaotic. We like to pick them up in the middle sometimes and
No,
just
yeah.
you like to pick them up in the middle sometimes.
because if you're gonna pitch it and sell it as a standalone,
No,
I
I
have to
know. You're doing the Lord's work.
Lord's work. I'm helping out my fellow reader.
Which, I mean, it's very funny that I like to read series in order, but I don't always read a book
You
in
Read a
don't read a
book in
order.
book in
order.
order. She does
I
not
don't.
read books in order.
Not sometimes I do.
Like you do,
Like
is
I'll
it
read
always
chap.
like you go peek ahead at the
Oh
end?
no, I don't peek ahead. So
Oh,
I'll read like two or three chapters, and if
okay.
I'm not really invested in anything, I will skip ahead like 10-ish chapters, depending on how long the book is. And then I will read three or four chapters there. And if there's something like dynamic that happened and I really need to know, then I will go back, but not to like where I originally left off, but I'll go back and then read. And then sometimes I skip forward again, sometimes I skip back.
Hmm.
But I always read the beginning first. And 9 times out of 10, I read the ending last, but I don't read the middle in order.
That's chaotic. But
Yes.
Yes.
also, I will say that you probably have like you'd probably be a good like editor or beta reader.
That's
I
what she
actually do
way.
That's what
developmental
she
edits.
Yeah,
does.
okay. Because I was gonna say, I was like, if you're like looking for the point where things are working and skipping the parts where they aren't, that's very useful.
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah.
We
But no, I like to read series in order. I don't really like to skip in like book five of like a 7 book series, but I do not always read my books in the correct order that they are written. So,
and I like to machete a series. I'll pick up book 5 and then actually book Carrie Elks had a 9-book series. I read the last book first and then went back and started reading, randomly when the tropes grabbed me. I should pick this up and.
I feel like if you're calling it standalones in a series, that you
it
should be
has
able
to
to do
be.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Like I have ones that I think you require reading in order, even if the couples that it focuses on are different.
Hmm.
But I say like I'm like that's a series, and each book has a different couple, but like the storyline goes all the way through.
yeah. Yeah. I like to test it.
Which as long as it is touted as a
Yeah.
series of
Right.
standalones with an overarching storyline,
Yeah.
that's fine. But those that don't say that but have it, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I just, I like to throw caution to the wind and just be wild. It's my own little rebellion. I don't do a lot of it.
And I like to Leah my books.
And you do like to Leah your books.
And I like to read everything in order.
From
all the
page
time.
1.
Series and book.
Series and book.
The very first time I made Amanda read a book that was like book 4 in a series.
Oh, she was so stressed out.
And I didn't have time to read the previous books. I was not happy.
She was a hot mess for a little bit. We don't do that to her very often.
Just, keep it
Only when
exciting.
absolutely necessary.
I mean, I can do it. I just don't enjoy it. I like to know everything going in.
That's fair.
I don't mind it if there's not too much reference to what happened before, but there are like a lot of historical romance authors will have like their like a lot of their catalog is set in the same world,
Mhm.
and the second they mention a couple, I have to go find out if that
You're
couple
like, what
has,
happened to
because I
this
don't want
couple?
to see them happily ever after together in a book that happens later. Like I'll never read their book if that's the case.
Same.
I have to like go find out what the deal is. Yeah.
See, and I think of it as like a flashback. Like if they're happy together in this book, then I'll go back and read it and it's, like a flashback. But I also don't read epilogues.
That's I know of another reader that talked about that. And I think I'm not a fan of prologues. I try not to use them. And then like an epilogue should be optional.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be like a bonus story. Not if you needed, my saying is, if you needed that epilogue to confirm the HEA, then it should have been a whole ass chapter,
Yeah.
not an epilogue. I feel this to
We all
myself.
have our quirks.
I mean, and this group has like buckets of them.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but we do.
Do you guys have a book of the week, Amanda or Leah? Do you have a book of the week?
I do, actually.
Okay. We're going to do,
Ish.
this is going to be really awkward, Kathryn, and we apologize in advance for our awkwardness, but, it's part of our charm.
Because it's that time.
It's that time
For
for book of
Oh,
the week. I asked my husband to get us a Echo. Like I have a really fancy soundboard, and I'm like, we could get an Echo, and he's like, no, we don't really need it because he does
Yeah,
all of our.
but then we were told that people like the homemade Echo and jazz hands.
Yeah.
So Mike apparently knew what he was doing when he told us that.
When he told us we couldn't have an Echo, he's literally the worst. It's fine.
But it's the jazz hands that make it.
Amanda, what's your book of the week?
So my book of the week is House of Rain by Harley LaRue. It actually comes out on Tuesday. It is a sapphic gothic romance. It is very spooky. She runs a bed and breakfast on this kind of cursed island. I can't really say anything about it without spoiling it.
Okay.
I am
Salem.
intrigued.
Salem is on, she's kind of getting over something in her life. She's on like a self-discovery journey. She's biking up the west coast of the US and she ends up on this island. The book pops at 4%. It
Okay.
is very like it's very sexy. It is very, but it's also like there's a lot of danger. And it's I can't say very much without spoiling, but the island has all kinds of secrets. No one on the island can really
Question.
leave. It's very like it's very well done. It's very kind of scary without being too scary. It's like the perfect like intro into spooky season. So it's out on Tuesday. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and they have like a very beautiful deluxe edition with sprayed
That
edge.
you
Did you
purchased
order
already?
it?
I have not yet.
You're holding back.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to.
I do have a question though. If she is biking, how does she end up on the island?
She's actually she booked to stay there. So she actually
Okay.
goes to I think
It's like a
she goes
ferry
to like
ride
on the
over or
mainland
something.
and she takes a ferry over.
Okay.
But she
Because
books
I was
she
like, wait, how did she magic herself to the island?
no. It's a running island. So
Okay.
the curse really happens like it starts on November 1st. Um,
Ooh.
and so everybody kind of they get everyone that doesn't live on the island off the island by
Off.
that point, and she comes for her stay like 2 weeks before the deadline.
Mm,
And so things happen and she's still there. Um,
still there.
yeah. So
I'm gonna have to read this because
it's
I'm
really good.
intrigued.
It's really good.
Okay, well,
That's
you
my book
said
of the
like
week.
magic words, spooky and sapphic, and I'm in, so sign me up.
Yes.
Leah, what's your book of the week?
My book is actually books because I listened to the Scared Sexy novella series from Montlake. Very good.
Those are so good.
Some are better than others, but when you have a series like that, like that's definitely going to happen. But they're fun. Like the audiobooks are really nice. I was painting the girls' like closet as I was listening. So, but it's such a fun series that they did.
Is
In
this
every
the
book, they're the
like
Montlake ones, the
The Allie
Amazon
Hazelwood,
originals.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Kimberly Lemming, Katie Robert.
I was gonna say, which one's your favorite?
I really like Kimberly Lemmings.
Okay, yeah.
I
I
It
mean,
love
was
Kimberly
really
Lemmings
good.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, so hers, it's like
wait,
a
don't talk about.
wishing.
We have a whole
Oh,
like
that's right. Well,
Mm.
I
two
can just say
weeks.
this. Hers is like a wishing well.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and you cut her off, didn't you, Becky?
I did. I put her away. No, she just her internet went
I was
funky, and
like, perfect timing, like fate, like you can't
Right.
tell us
yeah,
about the book.
we're talking about those books in 2 weeks on Wednesday. That's our review episode. Kathryn, do you have a book? I know you told us about Lana Cole's book, but do you have a book this week that you're just like loving?
Um, it would be Lana's, it would be that and then The Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, that's the one because One Yellow Eye and Some Rom-Com. I'm not very far into either of those yet.
Yeah.
Um, but they're both really good. But yeah, those are my babes.
So I picked up Love Me, Stalk Me by Laura Bishop. This is coming out in December. It is a dark rom-com. Now, I'm very intrigued by it. I've picked it up. It's pretty good. I'm only about halfway through. It's really interesting. Lots of stalking. She's got, you know,
We love a stalker.
right? He's
Yeah.
it's a very intriguing concept just because one of the things is when it was bought by publishing, originally it was going to be an indie pub, and then it got picked up. It got bought in August, and it's going to publish December 1st, which is a
Oh wow,
really
that's fast.
fast turnaround.
They said ready to go.
Ready to go, yeah. But it wasn't pitched. It was pitched as like a new, it's like a debut pen name is how it's pitched. So it's an established author. I do not know who the established
okay.
author is. None of my business. Don't care about that. But I think this is going to be a book to watch come the end of the year.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm intrigued by it, and I think that it will. It's called Love Me, Stalk Me by Laura Bishop, and I think it's gonna do some things. Leah's not going to jump back on. Her internet's giving her a hard time, so she's done. Okay. Quick shout out for our amazing Patreon community. Your support keeps the podcast running and lets us bring you even more bonus content, reading guides, exclusive Discord chats. If you're not a member yet, check out our 1 tier on Patreon. We'd love to have you in our bookish crew. Kathryn, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and talking about Omegaverse.
Yeah.
And making it work in my brain.
And making it work for Amanda.
I'm happy to.
We'll be back here Wednesday night, and we are reading... I listened to the audio.
Hot and Badgered.
Honey Badgered.
Hot and Badgered.
Oh, Hot Badgered.
By Shelley Lawrenston.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they shift into Honey Badgers, you guys. Come on.
Is that one been around for a while?
It has. It's like 2017.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and Kensington picked it up and they're reissuing them in paperback. So
amazing. Yeah. I remember those like in the top 100 or something of shifters, like when I was first starting out. They're great.
Yeah, they're a hot mess, but I love them. They're so bonkers, and it's like I love that kind of stuff, but it's not always everyone else's cup of tea, and they let me pick. So
you know what? I can't wait to talk about it because I actually had a really great time listening to the audio. So so that's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. right here on the YouTube. And then we're back next Sunday. I don't know what we're talking about. We'll be back next Sunday. I think we're doing archetype, the queen.
Yes, I think so.
The female queen archetype. And how we like to spin it into our own version. We make up our own rules.
Yes.
Like we decided the perfect current femme fatale is brother's best friend or best friend's little sister. She's kind of a femme fatale because she pursues and goes. So yeah. Anyway, Kathryn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, everyone. Happy reading.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.